Hello everyone. Welcome to our news channel. Headlines. Fight breaks out on plane after passenger refuses to wear face mask. Paris will shut all bars completely. Coronavirus increasing again in Europe. Paris will shut all bars completely from Tuesday after the French government raised the city's coronavirus alert to maximum following a period of high infection rates. Bars, gyms and swimming pools will all be closed for 2 weeks in a bid to curb the spread of the virus, the city's police chief said. But restaurants will remain open if strict hygiene rules are in place. On Sunday, France reported 12,565 cases of COVID-19. These are breaking measures because the epidemic is moving too fast. Police Chief Didier Lallement said during a press conference on Monday, "We have to slow it down so that our health system is not overwhelmed." He added, France's maximum alert level comes into force when the infection rate in a locality exceeds 250 infections per 100,000 people and at least 30% of intensive care beds are reserved for COVID-19 patients. There are 203 active coronavirus clusters in the wider Paris region, health officials say. These measures, indispensable in the fight to curb the virus spread, will apply to Paris and the 3 departments immediately surrounding it, for a duration of 2 weeks, the Prime Minister's office explained earlier. Restaurants in the city will have to put in place new sanitary arrangements in order to stay open, and university lecture halls must be no more than half full. But restaurants and bistros that serve food as well as alcohol can stay open, as long as they register contact details from customers and shut their doors at 2200 hours. Working from home must be prioritized now more than ever, the statement said. Interior Minister Gerald Darmanin acknowledged closing bars would be difficult for Parisians. "We are French. We love to drink, to eat, to live, to smile and to kiss each other," he told French TV channel LCI and Europe 1 on Sunday. On the 26th of September, Marseille, France's second city, closed all bars, restaurants and gyms for 2 weeks. Public venues including theaters, museums and cinemas have also had to close unless they could introduce strict antiviral measures. Tracking the global pandemic. Where is hardest hit? How pandemic sparked European cycling revolution. One man's COVID crusade in rural America. The measure prompted anger from local officials who said they were not consulted. France has been struggling to contain a rising rate of infection which started to grow exponentially in late August. On Saturday it reported nearly 17,000 infections, its highest rate since the country started widespread testing. The government says it doesn't want to order another nationwide lockdown, but will enforce tougher measures in those cities where the virus is concentrated. BBC Paris correspondent Hugh Schofield explains. What else is happening in Europe? A state of emergency has been introduced in the Czech Republic as the government struggles to control a resurgence in coronavirus. The measures will be in place for 2 weeks, including closing secondary schools and limiting restaurants and bars to 6 customers per table. Over the past 2 weeks, the Czechs had the second highest number of new cases per 100,000 in Europe after Spain, and the 4th highest number of deaths in the Russian capital, Moscow. School children will have to stay at home for 2 weeks and firms have been told to keep at least 30% of staff working from home. The country's daily infection rate has risen to 10,888, the highest since May. In Spain, the capital Madrid entered a local lockdown over the weekend. Its 3 million people are only able to travel outside their neighborhoods for essential journeys. Bars and restaurants cannot serve after 2000 hours and people cannot meet in groups larger than 6. Spain has the highest infection rate of any country in Europe, the Italian health minister said on Sunday. The government would probably introduce new measures to control the virus in the coming week. A rise in infections in the south of the country is concerning officials, Roberto Speranza said. The restrictions could include obligatory mask wearing outdoors across the country and new restrictions on the size of social gatherings. Fight breaks out on plane after passenger refuses to wear face mask. A woman says a fight broke out on board an Allegiant Air flight to Provo, Utah after a passenger refused to wear a face mask as required by the airline. "It was absolutely insane to me because it's all about a mask. It didn't need to get that way." The fight started when a passenger who wore a face shield sitting behind got into an argument with a flight attendant over wearing a face mask. A spokesperson for Allegiant Airlines did not respond to questions regarding the incident, but told to News on Monday that the airline requires all passengers to wear face covering at all times, including at the ticket counter, gate area and for the duration of the flight. Face shields may be worn in addition to a face covering, but not as an alternative, according to company policy. Another man, clad in a mask that doesn't cover his nose, throwing jabs at the passenger who refused to wear a mask while being held back by flight staff.